Why does punishment make a fearful horse worse, not better? You'd think it makes sense. Horse spooks. Horse gets corrected. A jerk on the lead, a sharp voice, a smack. Horse learns not to spook. Simple cause and effect. Except that's not what happens. Not according to the neuroscience. What actually happens is the opposite. And if you've ever corrected a scared horse and watched it get more reactive, not less, this video is going to explain exactly why that happened and what your horse's brain was actually doing in that moment. Reason 1. Punishment doesn't teach the behavior. It teaches fear of you. Reason 1. When you punish a scared horse, the horse's brain does not file the lesson under "don't spook." It files it under "something bad happens near this person in this place in this moment." This is basic associative learning, the same mechanism behind every fear response ever studied. The horse's brain does not have the cognitive framework to connect "I got punished" with the abstract idea, therefore I should not react to sudden movement in the future. What it can connect, instantly and powerfully, is fear plus pain equals this human. So the horse that gets punished for spooking doesn't learn to stop spooking. It learns that spooking is now followed by 2 threats instead of 1. The original scary thing, and you. Classical conditioning research. Aversive stimuli paired with an already fearful state associate most strongly with the immediate context and handler, not with the abstract target behavior. Reason 2. Fear shuts down the exact part of the brain that learns. Reason 2. Here's the part most people never get told. Fear doesn't just fail to teach a lesson. It actively blocks the horse's ability to learn one. When a horse is afraid, its brain prioritizes survival circuitry over learning circuitry. Stress hormones like cortisol flood the system, and higher-order processing, the exact mechanism required to form a new, reasoned association, gets suppressed in favor of pure reflex. Flight, freeze, fight. This means the moment you punish a horse that is already afraid, you are adding stress on top of a brain that is already too flooded with stress hormones to learn anything at all. You are not correcting behavior in that moment. You are physiologically incapable of teaching anything in that moment, and so is your horse of receiving it. Reason 3. Fear generalizes to things that had nothing to do with it. Reason 3. Fear does not stay neatly contained to the thing that caused it. It spreads. This is called stimulus generalization. A horse punished near a plastic bag doesn't just become afraid of that bag. It can become afraid of similar textures, similar colors, similar sounds, similar locations. Even the general presence of you in contexts that have nothing to do with the original event. This is why a horse that was punished once for spooking at a tarp can, months later, react fearfully to a jacket flapping in the wind, a rustling feed bag, or simply being led past the spot where it happened, with no tarp anywhere in sight. You didn't just fail to fix the fear. You potentially multiplied it, quietly, invisibly, across dozens of unrelated triggers your horse now associates with danger. Reason 4. Repeated punishment creates learned helplessness, not obedience. Reason 4. If punishment keeps happening regardless of what the horse does, a horse eventually stops trying to solve the problem at all. This is called learned helplessness. When an animal experiences repeated negative outcomes that feel unpredictable or unavoidable, it stops attempting new strategies. It goes still.
It stops resisting. It stops showing outward signs of fear at all. Here's the part that should genuinely worry you. That stillness is often mistaken for calm, for finally listening, for obedience. It is not. It is shutdown. The horse has not resolved its fear. It has simply given up trying to escape it. because nothing it tried ever worked. A horse that stops reacting is not always a horse that feels safe. Sometimes it is a horse that has concluded nothing it does will change what happens to it. Reason 5. Suppressed. Fear doesn't disappear, it resurfaces bigger. Reason 5. Fear that gets suppressed instead of resolved does not vanish, it waits. Horses that appear to have gotten over a fear through repeated punishment frequently show what researchers call resurgence, the sudden, often more intense return of the original fear response, when the suppression pressure is removed, or when the horse is placed in a slightly novel version of the same situation. This is why some horses seem fine for months, then explode without warning in a moment that looks, from the outside, completely disproportionate. It isn't disproportionate, it's cumulative. Every suppressed episode was never actually resolved. It was filed away, still live, still armed. The horse that randomly became dangerous was rarely random at all. It was a fear response that had been punished into silence for a long time, finally running out of road. Wisdom. What actually changes behavior? So here's what all 5 of these actually add up to. Punishment doesn't remove fear. It teaches the horse to fear you specifically. It blocks the brain from learning anything in that moment. It spreads to triggers that had nothing to do with the original event. It can shut the horse down into a stillness that looks like obedience, but isn't. And if it doesn't shut the horse down, it waits and comes back bigger. What actually changes fear-based behavior is not correction. It's safety, predictability, a nervous system that is calm enough, consistently enough, to actually form a new association. One where the scary thing stops predicting danger because nothing bad ever followed it again. That is slower. It is less satisfying in the moment. And it is the only version of this that actually works. Subscribe to Wild Mind Pets. Comment below. Has your horse ever randomly reacted to something? And after watching this, do you think it was ever really random? I'll read every single one.